Good morning, all. It's an introduction to fungi. We know that fungi are the group of eukaryotic organisms that includes both micro and macro species. The fungi spores are generally present in our surroundings. During rainy season, spores will germinate and produce mycelia that in turn form fungal flowers or fruiting bodies. Fruiting bodies contain spores for reproduction. It is visible, lovely, and colorful part of the fungi. Fruiting bodies have different shapes and colors that attracts everyone. Some of them are edible and others are poisonous. Our college campus also has a great diversity of fungal species during rainy season. In this session, I am discussing the salient features of fungi. Fungi are microscopic or macroscopic organisms that bear in the reproductive spores. The spores produced on the filamentous heterotrophic thallus. We have a well defined branch of science, that is mycology, that deals with the scientific study of fungal species. Sir Edwin John Butler is considered as father of Indian mycology and plant pathology. The fungal species are the major decomposers of biosphere that enable the recycling of mineral nutrients. This decomposition maintains our ecosystem balance. The kingdom fungi includes more than 1 lakh non-species. Moreover, we have to identify a lot of unknown species from our wide world. The members are widely distributed all over the world. The members flourish under suitable environmental conditions like moisture and temperature. The species have variety of habitats including terrestrial, aquatic, epiphytic or parasitic. Coming to the salient features of fungi. The vegetative fungal body is thalloid in nature, but unicellular fungi is also present. Best example is yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Thallus is composed of filamentous and tubular units called hyphae. Hyphae may be septate or aseptate. Septate hyphae present in advanced fungi, but aseptate hyphae present in lower fungi. These hyphae are intermingled to form a mass that form the vegetative fungal body. The mass of hyphae is the mycelium. The mycelium may be holocarpic or eucarpic in nature. The fungal cell wall consists either fungal cellulose or chitin or both. One of the interesting feature that is lomesomes that present in the plasma membrane. The photosynthetic pigments totally absent in fungi, so heterotrophic in nature. Some species have absorptive type of nutrition. For multiplication of thallus, three types of reproductive methods are present in fungi. First one is vegetative method. It is possible by fission, fragmentation and budding. Formation of aplanospores, conidia and chlamydospores includes in asexual methods. That is the second one. The last method is sexual cycle that includes sporogenesis, plasmogamy, karyogamy and meiosis. It maintains the genetic stability and induces genetic variations. It is the time to discuss the vegetative structure of fungus in detail. The vegetative fungal body is haploid in nature and it is thallus form. Based on the nature of the thallus, the fungi can be divided into two groups. First one Myxomycota and the second one Eumycota. Myxomycota comprises the slime molds. Here, the thallus is not cellular, but it is naked, amoeboid and cenocytic. In this group, the cell wall absent and a large number of nuclei present in protoplasmic mass. In contrast, the Eumycota members have cellular thallus. It may be mycelial or non-mycelial. non-mycelial thallus is simple and unicellular, but mycelial thallus is multicellular filamentous network. Interestingly, some fungi are dimorphic in nature, that is, non-mycelial thallus at one stage and mycelial thallus at other stage. Both holocarpic and eucarpic mycelium present among the species. In holocarpic type, the whole mycelium can be transformed into reproductive structure, but in eucarpic type, only one portion transformed to reproductive structures. Hyphae are acceptating lower fungi and the protoplasm is sinusoidal. But septate hyphae present in higher fungi which are multicellular with septa between adjacent cells. Each cell in the hyphae may be uninucleate, binucleate or multinucleate. The septa with pores maintain the protoplasmic continuity which helps for nutrient transportation. Pores on the septa may be simple or complex. In the figure, we can easily understand the differences between simple and complex pores. Simple pores present in lower fungi, while complex pores in higher fungi. The complex pore is otherwise called dolichopore. The cap-like double membrane on each side of dolichopore is the parenthosome. This type of dolichopore is common in Basidiomycotina. Finally, we can say there are two types of hyphae, that is vegetative and reproductive. Next, we are going to the cell structure of fungi. In ultramicroscopic studies of fungal cell, we can easily identify the following features. The cell wall, which provides shape and protection to the hyphae cell, that made by fungal cellulose, chitin or by both. But in oomycetes, the cell wall material is chitin only. The lomesomes, that is the infoldings of the plasma membrane, enhance the surface area of plasma membrane that ameliorate the metabolic activities. This eukaryotic cells consist well-defined nucleus together with different cell organelles including mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, vacuoles, ribosomes, etc. The photosynthetic pigment, that is chlorophyll, is totally absent in the species. That is why the organisms show heterotrophic nutrition. In protoplasm, the food reserves like glycogen, volutin, or oil droplets are observed. The number of nuclei in the hyphae cells is highly variable among the species. It may be 1, 2, or many. These features are very clear in the figure. In higher fungi, hyphae may be organized to form compact or loose tissue-like structures, such as Plectenchyma, Sclerotia, Rhizomos, Sporophores, and finally Stomata. First one is Plectenchyma. It is the network of loosely or closely interwoven hyphae. It may be two types, prosenchyma and pseudoparenchyma. In prosenchyma, the hyphae are unfused, loosely arranged, and parallel to one another. They always retain their individuality. But in pseudoparenchyma, the hyphae are fused and closely interwoven. They have lost their individuality. And the second tissue type is sclerotia. These are compact masses of fungal hyphae, which serve as organs of protection and also give rise to fruiting bodies. Sclerotia are dormant pseudoparenchymatous resting bodies, that is, highly resistant to unfavorable conditions. During favorable conditions, they develop either to mycelia or to fruiting bodies. Then the third one is rhizomorph. These are rope-like, tough and compact coats of fungal hyphae that transport food materials from one part of the thallus to another. They also help the fungus to spread from one favorable location to another across unsuitable substrata. Then the fourth tissue type is sporophore. Sporophores are spore producing hyphae. Sometimes they are found in groups, forming Pycnidia, Sporodokia, Hymenia, and Acerulae. In this, Pycnidium is the flask-shaped hyphal structure. From the inner wall of the pycnidium, the conidia and conidiophores are arising. Then the second one, that is Sporodokium. It is a mass of conidiophores tightly packed together on the stroma. Hymenium, that present in Ascomyces and Basidiomycetes. It is the fertile layer in which asci and basidia are present. The final one, that is Acerulae, it is the saucer-shaped compact mass of hyphae that bearing conidiophores and conidia. Then the last type of tissue is stromata. Stromata are solid tissue-like masses of pseudoparenchyma from which the sporophores or fruiting bodies are produced. These are the major type of tissues that present in the fungal body, that is in vegetative body. So, in the next class, we have to discuss the nutrition, reproduction and phylogeny in fungi. So, see you later.